Hey, what is going on, guys? It is Young here, and today I'm back in our Fortnite video, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about how to win here in Chapter 2 very easily. I'm going to be covering everything you guys need to know in order to win as many games as possible here in Chapter 2, so definitely stay to the end of the video. And before we get into the video, I have a V-Buck giveaway for Fortnite Chapter 2. If you guys want to be entered in this giveaway, all you guys have to do is to drop a like on this video, subscribe to my channel, make sure you guys turn on my post notifications so you guys can get notified for every single new video, and as well, leave a comment down below of your Xbox gamer tag, your PSN gamer tag, or Epic account, and you guys will be automatically entered into the giveaway. And real quick, if you guys want to support me as a creator in the item shop, my code is YoungHumor. So if you guys want to support me, definitely put in my code. It helps me out a ton. I definitely appreciate it. And alright guys, let's get right to the video. Alright, so here in this video, I actually have two gameplays I'll be talking over. And so I really wanted to be talking about how you guys can win a lot more easy in Season 2. How you guys can get a lot more games very, very easily. And so I played quite a few games here in Chapter 2, and a lot of my games I played on stream, but personally my favorite game mode is duos. But when I stream, of course, I am playing a lot of solos. And really, when it comes to winning in these different game modes, there really is a lot of different things you have to keep in mind, because of course in solos the reboot vans are pretty much obsolete, but in duos and squads they can actually make a huge difference and can change how you play the game. But that's not really exactly what I wanted to be talking about in this video. I wanted to be talking about some strategies that I use and some different things that I just noticed in Season 2 that can help you guys out when it comes to getting more wins no matter what game mode you're playing in, because I do feel like there's certain things in this game that are going to work better than others. So the first thing I want to be talking about in this video is going to be the playstyle in which I play in. And I've tried out different playstyles. I've played maybe a little bit slower. I played really aggressive. I've had a bunch of mediums. And personally, I haven't been playing as aggressive as I usually do. And there's a few reasons for that. And of course, I can play very aggressive if I want to. But there's a few reasons in which I don't play as aggressive as I necessarily want to if I want to go for very high kill games. And that first reason in this game, I saw something, it was either today or yesterday, I saw something in like the Fortnite news where it said they might be adding some sort of like rift mechanic or something like that, where they might, so they're going to be putting some type of movement. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but I just happened to see like a brief thing about it. So that would be really cool if they add that into the game. But one thing that really, makes me want to play a little bit slower than I usually have is just the fact there is no movement in the game, so materials are more valuable than I would say any other season. Of course, they've always been really important. You need to have materials every single fight, but at least in other seasons, if you had like a launch pad, or maybe you had a grappler, or maybe like a one of those shock impulse grenades where you can go really far very easily. If you had something like that, maybe in a bounce pad, if you had some sort of movement like that, it definitely gave you a little bit more leeway when it came to materials, because you can use that launch pad to go for high ground, use that launch pad to get away, and everything in between. Same with bounce pads and shock grenades. So materials are very important. So especially in this season, you have to make sure that you have your material count up. Otherwise, unless you're going against the bots that are in this game, because Epic does or has added bots, and it's really obvious when you get into a gunfight with bots, and they are really helpful. I'm not gonna lie, they are very helpful, especially in the late part of the game where they're pretty much just some free mat delivery and some free loot, some free ammo. That's pretty much what it is. And I think that's pretty much the design of Epic when they added bots into the game. But material count and positioning is going to be the huge stress of this season, because like I said, you don't have bounce pads, which are something that I used a lot, especially like last season. And when they first came out, to get high ground easily, I would just look down, place a bounce pad, and I would go up like 3 or 4 stories. Super easy, super efficient. Or if some dude is on high ground across the map, I would use a launch pad to immediately go for high ground. It was a really good strategy that I used that allowed me to get high ground very easily on a lot of players who might have been already, a good, 7, 8, 9 stories above me and in like a different direction. And it would allow me to get up on a hill very fast and different things like that. But since it's not in the game, it definitely would change how I play in a lot of circumstances. You have to use a lot more materials, but also having the best positioning, having the good positioning is going to be even more essential and even harder to do in this season. And that's the one thing you have to stress and make sure that you guys have. If not, you're going to have a severe disadvantage in every single fight you go into. and it's just overall going to be very difficult to win game after game if you don't have very good positioning and you don't take care of the amount of mats that you have. So those things in mind, I feel like those two things specifically are very, very crucial, especially for this season, just on the way that it's played, and definitely from what I've noticed playing solos, duos, and squads. Those are the two things specifically that really have made the huge difference. Of course, there's a lot of other things to talk about that I think can help you guys out a lot, but those two things specifically I would focus on the most, making sure you have really good material count, and also at the same time you want to make sure that you have the best positioning possible. And of course, you're never always going to have very good positioning, because you are going to have games where you get out of position, or you're in a gunfight, some dudes across the map trying to shoot a sniper at you. Because there's three things that I noticed in this game. I mentioned this on stream for those guys who saw watch me streaming. You guys heard me mention this. So there's three things that I died to the most in this season, and those three things are specifically not in really any order, but it's going to be sniper rifles, RPGs, and grenades. These three things in particular I have died to the most, and from anything in this game, shotguns, ARs, I'm telling you, grenades, because you can have 10 of them, you get spammed by them like crazy. You have snipers, so people just camp in bases and snipe across the map. Super toxic, super annoying, just how it is. And then you also have the third thing, which is an RPG. And this thing, you can just shoot people's builds down. It's very easy to find rockets, very easy to find ammo for it, and just destroy people's bases and get a lot of easy, cheap shots on them, I guess you can say, because it is pretty cheap to hit a guy with an RPG or shoot their build down. But it's just how it is. So those three things in particular, I don't really have exactly like a go-to strategy when I'm fighting these type of things, but you do have to understand that those three things are going to be the things that you have to find out for yourself, which is the best strategy to go about it. Because of course the RPGs, you have to be very aware, if they try to shoot you out, that you have to get down at least a certain amount so you don't take crazy amount of fall damage and end up dying in the process. And also at the same time, when it comes to sniper rifles, you just have to make sure that you're constantly moving in. One thing you can do that I do a lot is, for instance, say the sniper is on your right and then you have a player on your left. So say you're challenging the player on your left, the player on the left is closest. So what you want to do is you want to get on the left side of that player. So now you're on the left side, the sniper is on the right side, and kind of in the middle is going to be the player that you were fighting. So you have both players in that same direction to the right of you. That way the guy sniping, he's not going to be sniping at you. He's going to be sniping at your teammate. And really, to be honest, this is the best solution. Other than that, you don't have any sort of jump pads or anything like that. You can go challenge that player right away. So just from my conclusion, I think that's the best method on you're trying to avoid the sniper shot, because unless you're fighting the player, you can't really get rid of them. So as far as options, I think that's the best option that you have. I don't really know any other way that you can try to avoid getting shot other than, don't stand still, which is kind of the obvious one. Making sure you're always moving, and especially when you're taking someone else's wall, to just be very careful that you're not going to get shot from any other direction, because that could also be another reason a lot of you guys might be dying in this season. And one other thing that I really wanted to mention, and that really has to do with playstyle. And when it comes to playstyle, you could either be a player that plays very fast or a player that plays very slow. But you do have to identify situations in which it would be much better to play fast, and situations where it might be in fact better to play slow. Because for myself, I feel like I have a more of an aggressive playstyle, but also at the same time, there's going to be some situations in some fights where it's better to play slow. It's better to play more cautious than to play very, very aggressive. And especially towards the end of the game when you're going against maybe 2 or 3 guys, I think that could be a really good time to play a little bit slower, because it's going to be very difficult just on the way the game is to be able to clutch out at the end of the game while also playing very, very fast. Of course, it really depends on the game you're in, but in a game like mine where, it's going down to the end, one of the final circles, and there's just 2 guys left and they're building like crazy. If I'm not careful, if I don't have good positioning, then I'm in a very easy spot to just get shot from a direction from like behind me, from inside of me, from above me, and get pinched. So I have to, like I said earlier, I have to really worry about my positioning, but also at the same time I have to adjust my playstyle and play a little bit slower in this instance. Now there can be a lot of other instances in which you'd want to play faster, like if you're low on materials. Sometimes you have to push up, otherwise you're gonna run out of mats. You're either gonna run out of, or maybe you're getting sprayed from so many different directions that you have to make a fast play in a certain direction so you don't get shot at by every single player in the game. So there's going to be a lot of different instances in which you'd want to play fast and slow, and no matter your play style, you definitely have to figure that out, and you can't always rely on the same play style. And with that being said, that's wrap it up for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, if you guys liked it, make sure you guys do drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, turn on my post notifications so you guys are notified for every single new video, and alright guys, I'll see you next video.